What's happening, everybody? This is Vincent Kline, also known as Wolfman Mario Fan, and joining with me today is Miguel Bulteau. For those of you who don't know, he is the one who is composing an opera based off of the Majora's Mask video game. Say hi, Miguel.
Hello.
Alright,
Hello.
so why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself?
You said my name already. I'm from Portugal. I've started with music when I was about 11. Well, seriously, only when I was 11. Because before I always dabbled a bit piano stuff and nothing specific. I got into video games very early. When I was 4, I got a Sega Genesis with Sonic on it, and it was my first contact with video games. And from then on, it was nerding on. And recently, some years ago, I went into a music academy to make my music studies more how do you say it, more official. And I plan on getting out of this place as soon as possible because arts in Portugal are not, have never been going well. So yeah, musician, writer, kinda. Don't like to brand myself, but yes, that's what I do.
So tell us more about where you got your musical education.
Piano lessons, private ones first when I was 11. Too late, by the way.
Yeah.
Usually you have to start earlier, or else some stuff will never really stick to you, unless you're really, really, really a hard worker, which.
Don't say that, because you're writing a full-fledged opera. Don't say you're not a hard worker.
Yes, but in composition terms, yes. In composing, yes. But practicing the actual piano, I kind of suck at that. But because I don't really have much interest in. Well, I use it as a composing tool. I don't use it. I have no interest in being an interpreter at all.
You don't play for leisure, only just for official business.
No, I play for leisure, but I play whatever comes to mind. I don't really care much for going through a score, learning it. Oh, look at this Mozart, I like to learn this. I know some pieces, but it's been so long that most of I can remember them if I really try, but it's mostly for the composition, composing.
All right. So, how or when did the idea for an opera based on Majora's Mask come about?
Okay. Let's start this somewhere. Okay, I played Majora's Mask 3 times, from beginning to end. Maybe 4. I can't remember if I did a 4th one. I think it was just 3. First one was when I was 11 years old, back in 2000. That's the point where you first play a game. It's wow, I never played this before. It's awesome, etc. It's very hard, very cool. And then I played it again very recently, about almost 4 years ago, to show it to a friend. She became absolutely obsessed with Zelda after she saw me play Wind Waker, and she's the kind of person who likes to watch people play games. So there you go. I showed her all the Zeldas that I could remember or that we could play. So I started Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, and then came Majora's Mask. And Ocarina of Time later, yes, I violated the sequence. I remembered having had some ideas about, some video games will work well as some sort of stage works. Ocarina of Time might do a nice ballet. Wind Waker might do a nice cantata or something like that. But Majora's Mask gave me a feeling, an opera, something dramatic, something heavy. Because it's a very dark game. Mm-hmm. But then that idea came along like maybe 10 years ago or something, and it just vanished. And I thought, well, it's silly. I mean, it already exists. It's an existing franchise. Trying to put that on stage would just be annoying and everything. But then I thought of it again later, so 4 years ago. That was 4 years ago. Oh, geez, I'm sorry. It wasn't 4 years at all. Sorry, it was 2. Sorry. 2 years
No,
ago.
no, it's fine. It's fine.
Yes, and 2 years ago. The idea came back to me, and I thought, wait, I'm trying to get noticed on the internet for my original music on my website.
The 25th anniversary of Zelda had been that year, and the Symphony of the Goddesses was around, so I thought, if they're doing that, why wouldn't an opera work?
And I wonder if, as a simple exercise in notoriety, I could try to do some arrangements, some stuff like that. And, well, since I like big-scale work, I thought maybe I could, sketch up a big, long version, long story with some artistic freedom on Majora's Mask and put some arrangements online and people would start noticing. So that's why it came about. She wanted me to play Majora's Mask. I showed it to her. Thanks to her, I actually remembered the idea and thought, okay, let's try this. So like a month or 2 months later, I put out some. I went to forums and talked to people. Like, I think I'm on 20 or more Zelda forums and exposed my idea, and people actually liked it a lot. And I was like, okay, maybe I can actually do something with this. And then I put some instrumentals out, some Deku Palace, Odolva, and stuff like that, and people liked it. And then, when I put the first demo out, it was strange because it was a strange feeling because I thought, okay, we have to. I should probably put some bits of the opera. They're not even opera singers. This is completely like not at all what it's supposed to be, or what the end product is supposed to be in terms of actual voice quality. But let's give it a shot. So some people from the music academy I was having classes on at the time. And they agreed. The first demo is actually pretty hard to sing because it's a continuous. If you mess up one bit, then you have to start all over again. We couldn't separate the recordings, so we did it. And okay, let's show the internet what this is about a bit. And in 20 minutes, after I had put it on YouTube, I had 4,000 views. And I was like, what? What was the fun? Wait just a minute. What the hell? So I went and I noticed that it had gotten featured in Kotaku. The website. Kotaku, I don't know how you pronounce it.
Kotaku?
Yes, you know it. So it's because it got featured in Kotaku, whatever you it suddenly gathered a huge amount of views. And suddenly, something that I wanted to be a slow progression, like slowly acquiring attention, while I was writing it, I suddenly got 4,000 views and a bunch of people looking at it, and I was like, okay, so maybe now I'm the one who's late. I'm the one who should have this written before having shown any bits of it.
That's how the internet works. Stuff spreads fast.
But it depends. I've seen so many people work on stuff that took ages to spread. Well, this is taking a bit long to spread too, but I didn't think it would acquire that much speed. I mean, 4,000 views in 20 minutes for a channel that never had more than like 100 views per month. It's a big contrast. So yeah. So that's where it started.
Well, I mean, Majora's Mask is one of the most highly acclaimed of the Zelda franchise. A lot of people really care about it.
Yeah, it has kind of a cult following because
exactly.
Yes, because it's kind of it's probably the Zelda with the deepest niche maybe around it, because a lot of other people didn't like it because the time pressure and it's not very Zelda-like and it's weird and well. Honestly, it's my favorite precisely because of that. And well, it's a matter of taste, really. I like that they make different kind of Zelda for every different kind of taste. I don't think there is an actual Zelda flavor. I think what there might be is an actual ideal difficulty level for a Zelda game. For example, in my opinion, I think that stuff from Link to the Past until the Oracles had a certain kind of difficulty that was ideal, not too hard, not ridiculously hard like the first Zeldas, and not really, really easy like Skyward Sword. I mean, come on. you have a sense of difficulty, which I think Majora's Mask embodied pretty well. It's tense, it's unnerving. It drops you in a world with some clues, and you have to think for yourself. And then the whole idea about time, the end of the world, the meditations about death. It's a very deep game that doesn't really show you all the depth it really has. I like when I do that. I like when you have to think a bit.
So, tell us about the people that you work with.
Okay. This started with me alone, in this little room, trying to write stuff. And then I was having classes at the music academy in Lisbon, in here, and I had a friend there. He's a guitarist called Miguel Jesus. And I talked to him. I said, "Look, I have this idea. I would like to know if you would help me record some demos for this." And he said, "Oh, sure." He had never heard of Zelda or anything, and he liked the idea. He saw my score. He saw how I wrote rather how the software I use wrote the scores, and he saw that I had a very messy writing. I told him, "This is all temporary. I can clean this up later." But he offered to clean the entire score. So basically, I warned him. I was like, "Dude, this is going to be like over 3 hours of music. That's a lot of paper. And he was like, it's okay, I can do it. So he started helping me by cleaning up the scores, and by becoming the official recording supervisor, whatever. He has the material. I don't have anything. I don't have decent microphones, as you can hear. He has an awesome microphone. He has a very good soundboard, which we take along for the recording, and that's how they've been recorded so far. And then, some months later, I met Aaron Kline. He's from Richmond, Virginia. The youngest of the team. I met him because I was looking for animators online. You can see in the blog, there's a call for Flash animators. And actually, Aaron uses After Effects, and it ended up being the best thing for this. I just wanted a little thing, how do I say it? I just wanted a little animation, not a little, it's a long demo. It was for the Giants demo, because it needs to be something projected on stage, so you couldn't do it in front of a sheet with people. It would look silly anyway. So I needed that for the Giants aria. And he recorded. He answered the call. He was the best of the people who answered the call. I said, okay, let's do it. And we just got together, got close very, very fast. He actually ended up making the animation for the Deku Palace demo, and he now edits the videos because he's good at it. And well, that's what he does basically. He's working right now on the Majora's Aria video, with a lot of weird effects and stuff like that, and while we wait for for subtitles to be selected from the people who have been offering to help us. And then the latest addition to the team is Liam Greeno. He's from Australia, Melbourne, if I'm not mistaken. I met him I think 2 months ago maybe, or less. He was from one of the forums, Gemaki. I don't know how you pronounce that. Gemaki. One of the Zelda forums, which has a lot of musicians. And he offered to, because of my complete hardware failure, he offered to help me sample the digital scores of the opera, so that the demos would sound better and all that stuff. And as you can see in the YouTube channel, there's a Redux version of Adolva, which is Liam's work on my score, which is brilliant. So he offered to do it, and I said, "You're gonna," just like I told Miguel, "You're gonna resample 3 hours of music and 100 minutes written so far." And he said, "Okay." I worked on. He was the former director of FFREO, Final Fantasy Reorchestrated.
Oh, really?
So, yes. So he worked 6 years on that. So he said, "Okay, don't worry, we're in the same boat. I'll do this wherever this project goes, whether it works or not. I'll do it anyway." So yes, I'm very thankful. So yes, that's the team. It's Miguel Bulteau, me, and so composing and writing and all that stuff, directing in general. Miguel Jesus for the recordings and the score cleaning. Aaron Kline for directing the videos. Well, not really directing. Well, yeah, he's a director, editor as well, and a VFX specialist. And Liam Greeno for the complete resampling of the opera in proper samples.
And an entire slew of operatic singers, right?
Those are not really part of the team, although obviously I am right now putting my hands together and bowing, thank you, thank you, thank you. They are people that just decided, okay, we will help you with that and this and this and that, but none of them are definitive singers at all. They're just, some of them are teachers from the academy, some of them are students, some of them are just friends. Singers like to sing, they like to put their voice out there, and it's always good to show what you can do. So they decided to help us from out of their own goodwill. So the fixed team around the opera so far, it's us four, and then we have the obligation to thank all of those people, from the people who supplied the rooms to record in until the actual singers, obviously, who are basically supporters.
Speaking of which, we must also thank all our supporters net-wide for helping with the acquisition of new hardware, and everyone else who has been spreading the word about this project.
So, what kind of programs do you use when writing your compositions?
Well, software it's Finale, which is rather mediocre for score presentation, but I got used to the way it works. I don't use the actual sounds of the notation program, which suck. I got other sound libraries that can be coupled with Finale, but Finale is not an actual quality sound sequencer. What Liam uses, FL Studio, that's an actual sequencer, and I'm actually going to start learning FL Studio through Liam once I get my new hardware, so that I can improve the quality of all my music in terms of the actual sampling. But yeah, it's Finale and then VST samples from Contact, Muse, Philharmonic, and then I just adjust the volumes in something as basic as Audacity.
What are your plans once the project is finished?
This is supposed to be stage work, an actual stage work on stage with singers, orchestra, sets, everything like an actual opera is. And well, I've had ideas too. I mean, maybe an animated version would be interesting, but really it would have to be really good, well animated, else it wouldn't. Else it's pointless. This sort of thing that either it's done well, like really well, professionally, or I just won't want to see it botched. Because demos are just demos, there's a myriad of mistakes in the demos online, from the actual voice quality, which they do sing well, but most of the singers are not opera singers, so none of this is definitive. So the actual work, the actual final thing, has to be something professionally done, well done, with all that this requires. If it's not, then I will simply not allow it to to exist.
So, so far, what has been your favorite aspect about this project?
You mean technically, theoretically, what?
Like, maybe a favorite demo so far, or like one of the what you look forward to doing the most when you're working on this project?
Well, I'd like to keep writing if my computer would let me. I'm completely up to the roof with papers and annotations and stuff like that. But I really need to hear the actual orchestra playing it, because I know I'm a rather poor composer in terms of imagining the stuff in my head. I need a bit of a more I need a support of some sort. But yes, my favorite stuff is the actual, coming up with the ideas and writing and everything like that. The lyrics are not, as you can already see, some stuff doesn't really flow as well as it should because most of them are temporary lyrics. Sometimes you get good ones, sometimes you don't. You need the lyricist at the end. But my favorite demo of all, I think, is the fifth. It's the Andrew, the mother, and the postman. Although the beginning and the end are very stale, very, very slow. I need to enrich that orchestra there. But the middle parts, I really like it. Because it's the first time we actually got four actual opera singers recording, which is cool. And I don't know, I like it. The way it blends. I like the theme. I like how I managed to play with the theme. It's nice. It's like when you're writing something and then, oh, this is a good idea, and you keep following it, and suddenly you end up with something like, I didn't know I could do this. I didn't know I could get this, and you're like, this is not me, or this was just luck. But it's a good feeling. So yeah, the fifth demo is definitely my favorite, and then Deku Palace one, obviously, because choirs rock, and that's.
What can we expect in future installments?
Well, since the recordings of demos have been going slow, and I mean slow because if you remember, the Giant demo is from last year, like 7 months ago maybe, and we have been having issues getting to the singers we need. I'm actually considering getting starting a monthly review of everything that has been going on. Video of me explaining, for example, the latest stuff that has been going on the blog, because YouTube viewers tend to not look at anything but YouTube, and that's annoying. Very annoying, because I keep saying I'm not going to answer more questions on YouTube because I don't have the time to side hop that much and to look through all the comments and everything. And people keep asking questions on YouTube when I clearly said in that video with Miguel that we're gonna move all the questions and answers, Q&As, to the blog. So everything you want to have answered, you go to the blog. But I'm incorrigible. When some questions on YouTube, I just feel like answering over there, but they're not officially Q&As. The point is, I have an official declaration for YouTube. Go ask your questions on the blog, please. Thank you. And as apart from that, yes, monthly installments of general news. I might start that next month, and more demos. Obviously, we have Majora's Aria coming up when I finally find a soprano from the people who have offered to help us. There are many talented people already offering to help, but some have actual problems recording, some have life problems, some have time problems, and well, whoever. At the end of the day, whoever gets the best recording, the best quality, will get to be featured in the demo. And apart from that, there's also a Clocktown demo. The music has been recorded. The choir has been recorded for a year now. We're waiting for the soloist for Cafe. And I think that's all the demos. There's another one. So there's 3 more demos programmed. It's Majora's Aria, it's the Clocktown Choir plus Cafe's statements of his, a little recitativo of him talking about his faith and the math and everything, and a quartet. The quartet between the Deku King, the Deku Princess, Cafe, and the monkey. Basically, it's an important statement in the opera about the thing about promises and trust, because Cafe ends up in the swamp. The monkey, Cafe, as you can see in demo number 4, he actually witnesses the attempted execution. The Deku leaves the monkey unattended over the cauldron for a moment, and Cafe just going through. The monkey says, "Oh wait, please help me," and something like that. And Cafe says he doesn't have the time. He's tracking a thief. And the monkey says, "I know where the thief is." And Cafe is like, "What? How can you know that?" And the monkey says, "Free me and I'll tell you." So Cafe frees the monkey, and then the Deku come along and halt, there's intruders. they are chased through the swamp, and that's how you get to Adolf and the Deku, because the Deku are chasing Kappa and the monkey, and they actually meet up with Adolva, and the battle goes on, and the giant is accidentally freed because the Deku are just defending themselves against Adolva and everything like that. So at the end of all that stuff, you have the Deku princess who was saved by the Deku army because they were just chasing Kappa and the monkey to the swamp. And the princess is angry at her father, like, you were going to execute the monkey I sent asking for help. And Cafe is angry at the monkey for lying to him, because the monkey tells him, I don't know anything about thief, I just wanted to free me. So it's one of those ideological things, one of those, Cafe complaining that you can't lie like this, you can't manipulate people like that. And the monkey said, it's a jungle, I do whatever I want to get out of trouble. And at the same time, the Deku Princess is saying, you have to trust people, you can't just execute them because they're not of your race, or they're just not of your courts, of your place. They're not Deku, it's a monkey, it's a Deku, it's different things. And the Deku King said he couldn't trust, because monkeys are not Deku, and the swamp has become dangerous, so I couldn't trust anyone. So the whole opera works a lot with trust. Matters of trust and promises, which is the basic premise of Majora's Mask, beyond all of the others, of course, they have stuff like that. So that's the demo I would really like to release finally, because it's a very interesting quartet. And that's it.
On several accounts, you've stated that Link is not present in the story, and I noticed that you've mentioned Kafe a lot. Has he taken the place of Link?
No. Let me clarify that. Okay. You've played Majora's Mask, right?
Yes.
I assume, obviously.
I actually recently started playing it again due to watching your demos.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. That's actually fun that I'm actually getting people to play it again. I've seen that in the comments. This is how it is. When I thought about the opera, I was like, okay, let's do Majora's Mask. But then there was a little issue there, like Link doesn't talk. I'm not gonna make Link sing. That's absolutely out of the question. Link is the player. Link is you. Link is your own voice. I think it's beyond a matter of canon. Oh, he doesn't talk because he doesn't talk. No, I think Link is your Link, the game. So you shouldn't give him any sort of personality that isn't your own. So I said, maybe he's a dancer, like Skull Kid is in the opera. He's a dancer. Maybe Link is a dancer. He doesn't speak. He just goes on doing his stuff. And then I thought, it's not very operatic to just Hercules, the 12 quests of works of Hercules, something like that. It would be the equivalent of that, of chasing a hero, going after a hero, going like, now he freed that temple, now he freed that giant, now he stopped winter in the mountains, now, it's the same thing, it's mechanical, it's a game mechanic, it's not something that would, it's something that would get tiresome in the stage work, let's do this, and now that, and open doors with keys, and it lacks something. So I thought, okay, maybe I shouldn't focus on Link. Maybe I can focus on Cafe and other people like that, okay. And Link would just move around in the background, stuff like that. But I wanted to make the story something everyone could enjoy. Like everyone. People don't know Zelda. Miguel Jesus, the guitarist, doesn't know Zelda. He liked the story a lot. Because Majora's Mask works as a self-contained story. The only thing you have to remove to make it 100% self-contained is Link. Because Link is the one who comes from Hyrule. Obviously. So I thought, okay, what if Link is not here? What happens? Well, the obvious happens, the moon falls. But who can I focus on to make this a dramatic work, a deep work? And I thought that the hardest question of the whole game is the Cafe and Andrew side quest. Tiresome, but very rewarding, very chilling at the end. And I thought, this is opera material. This works. This it's a love scene. It's a love situation. It's something that will work very well. So, but I would also like to show, the four corners of Termina, the four issues, the how in the different ways in which Termina is dying. So I thought, what's the problem with Cafe leaving Clocktown? He already leaves Clocktown to chase Tychon in the valley. And people can't even come like, oh, he has no access to the valley because of... No, he does, because he goes over a cliff that Link cannot climb without the hook shot. So it's like, the game developer didn't care for that. That's not the point. It's a matter of story. It's a matter of storytelling. So you can bend some stuff for storytelling for storytelling reasons. And I thought, okay, I don't want to destroy canon, so let's bend as little as possible, but I really need Cafe to leave Clocktown. He doesn't replace Link. Why? Because he doesn't save anything. Cafe is just desperate. He's been looking for his mask for a month after it's been stolen. And these are the last 3 days. He knows the moon is over his head. He knows he's like, this is not good. Something's going to happen. There's going to be the moon's going to fall. This is obvious. But I promised to her I would get married to her on the carnival time. I have 3 days to the carnival time. I have to find my mask. So it's a matter of despair and promise. And Cafe is valuable to this because Cafe represents probably the only character who hasn't yet failed to fulfill his promise. And that's why I want him to meet Darmani and Mikao. Because Darmani and Mikao are in the exact same situation as Cafe, except they failed. Darmani died trying to find the reason behind the cold in the mountain. That's why I want Cafe to meet him. But Cafe never really goes up to Snowhead. He never even gets to the mountain village. It's too cold, too windy. So he collapses in the middle of the way because he thinks it's complex. It doesn't matter for the point. The point is that Tychon misleads him into going to the mountain. Because Cafe in the opera witnesses the theft of the old lady, the bomb bag, at midnight. And that's what will get him to keep following Tychon. Because the first thing that leads him to the swamps is that really little rumor that the Juggler brothers talk about the kidnapping in the swamp. They joke about it, the kidnapping, and then the kid woke up. It's a silly joke. That's what drives Cafe out of desperation into the swamp to look for any sort of criminal activity because he's been in town for a month and he just has not seen Tychon at all. So he thinks maybe he's not here, maybe he left, maybe I have to go somewhere else. So he goes wrongly to the swamps. He comes back to saddened. He actually witnesses the theft. He follows Tychon off the north entry, the north gate, but Tychon misleads him. Cafe keeps on going to the mountains. He collapses and all that stuff. And the thing about Darmani and Mikao, which was I was getting at, is that they represent promises that did not get fulfilled despite the will to fulfill them. I don't like stories in which good prevails and everything is fine as long as you believe in it. For me, that's bullshit. That's not how it works. You either can or you can't. And the darkest point in Cafe's mind in the opera, where he has least hope, it's when he witnesses Mikao's flight, because Mikao's flight is almost exactly like Cafe. He promised Lulu, who is, well, if it's not obvious, it's implied, his love interest, he would come back with something stolen. It was vital to them. And he got killed by the pirates. And Cafe suddenly thinks like, this is me. I could just die. I could never see Andrew again. What am I doing? And that's where I use a fisherman. The fisherman is the embodiment of someone who's completely simple, completely naive, actually kind of a perv for the pirates, which will be a very comical part of the opera. It's that naivete, that kind of innocence that gives Cafe a bit more, hope, because he needs room to breathe, and only people with a very light sense of life, like the fisherman who's just complaining about how there's no fishing, there's no fish, the sea is dying and everything like that. He's still way more of a lighter character than the more tortured souls that are Darmani and Mikao. Which obviously, if Link's not here, they will not get their healing. So basically, Cafe is a transformation. Link comes as a savior. Now, Link is, if you want to put it ridiculously in a metaphor, like ridiculously far away, Link is kind of the Jesus Christ. If anyone has an understanding of Christian theology, like it's a deep one. He's actually the savior of the world who comes because there is no way the world can survive without him. I don't like that very much because it's what you call a Deus Ex Machina. You know, something comes along and solves everything. And fine, then I didn't have to worry about anything. Whatever, hero come and save us. That's I don't like that. So Cafe is the human struggle. Cafe is the actual human person who does not get up to Snowhead because he can't. Who does not go even meet the Zoras because he can't go that deep. He can't go underwater. And the only reason he gets to the valley is because he can in the game, obviously, and because the happy mask salesman who is in the opera is part of a parallel story about the recovery of Majora's Mask. He wants to know. He wants to know if he can really get the mask back, or if he just has to leave. And he keeps that doubt during the entire opera. Cafe and the happy mask salesman meet in Ikana Valley, and I don't want to say more because it's a point that they get to. It's a simple point, really. It's about trust. But the point is, they meet and they need each other to fulfill their needs.
So, it's obvious that that you have a lot of people backing you up on this. Everybody wants to see this come to its full fruition. Have you ever received any negative feedback for this project?
Yes, of course. There's always someone who doesn't like something. You can't possibly you can't possibly please anyone. There's always people who complain, like, oh, this is all wrong. First, the people who complain about the superficial things, like the lyrics and everything are wrong, despite the fact that I've told people over and over that the lyrics are not definitive. A lot of the music is not definitive. A lot of the orchestration is not definitive. Nothing is definitive. This is one big draft. I have to build one single big 3-hour long draft to then go over it again and start adding or removing things. Secondly, you have people who just disagree completely with the idea because they think we can't make a musical of something. And, musical. First they call it musical. They're right to call it musical because the quality of the demos on YouTube is sounds musical-like because it's not being worked to the level of the opera. But the actual objective is an opera, and so those people don't like it. Well, you don't have to like it. It's a free world. I do what I like to do, and if you don't like it, don't go see it. I don't know. But they don't like it for superficial reasons, or for more ideological reasons, or because they've seen so many bad musicals. Spider-Man. That they are definitely entitled to that opinion, because I've seen some very, very bad stuff, musical-wise, based on because you can't bend something completely to the laws of a musical or an opera. There has to be some sort of leverage. There has to be some kind of middle ground, and this is where I want to be. For example, Majora, that's going to be a very tough singer to find for a definitive project, because I don't want an actual opera singer for Majora, but I don't want a light singer either. It has to be, because Majora is the strange element, it's the element of instability. It has to be some sort of very good actress and very good singer at the same time. It has to have an operatic agility, but it doesn't have to sound pretty. That's the point. Because Majora is not pretty. Majora is demonic. Majora is instability. Majora, of course, she has to sing. The notes have to be sung correctly. But they're singers who manage to twist things how they sing it. They're singers who manage to give a personality, to put the right amount of personality and singing quality in the same place. And what I'm looking for the Majora's Aria demo is someone who can get close to that. I've seen people who can already get that. But for the actual opera, you have to project your voice on a theater without microphones, without amplification. You need someone who's already been operatic for that, an opera singer, and at the same time someone who's very, very, who can bend themselves very well, who can bend their idea of the typical canons of singing, who are willing to damage themselves a bit or something, who are willing to be behave not according to all of the rules, basically. And that's what will make Majora special, the singer actually, because she will be different from the singers on stage. I'm sorry, I digress a lot. You were talking about people don't like it. Yes,
You're
people.
fine.
Well, they don't have to like it. I mean, I don't like the movie. That doesn't mean that the guy who made the movie is an idiot, or that doesn't mean that it's not entitled to exist. I mean, whatever. It's there. It's what it is.
Now, am I right in assuming that you're a fan of Koji Kondo?
Yes, very much. Very much.
Are there any other game composers that you look up to?
Yes, Grant Kirkhope. He was my first influence. Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, Donkey Kong 64. I like his style very much, and if you listen to some of my older stuff in the site, you can tell there's some influence. In fact, there's a very embarrassing thing. I actually started something once, a piece I wrote, so like when I was very young, like, I don't know, 7 years ago, 5 years ago, I came up with something, and I was like, okay, this is awesome. And then I went to listen to Weldar, the boss theme, one of the bosses from Banjo-Tooie, and I was like, wait a minute, I just copied this. What the hell? So I just removed the whole thing. Some stuff gets ingrained in your head. There's always, you can ask any composer, they always have someone who is their primary seed. And my primary seed is definitely Grant Kirkhope. My style is closer to his. Of course, you develop, you change, because nothing is made of nothing, and at the same time, nothing should remain or a copy of something else. But yes, Grant Kirkhope is definitely one of my favorites. Koji Kondo, of course, he has a simplicity that is mind-boggling. And I bet, to give you an example, the level of, this might be digging too deep, too far down, but are you a musician?
Yes. I've been playing piano since I was 2, so yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So you hear the clock sound theme?
Yeah.
Okay. You know the bass? The bass line, D, C sharp, B, C sharp, D?
Yes.
Da, 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 da. Okay. This can be complete idiotic conspiracy theory speculation, whatever. The point is, I think Koji Kondo is enough of a discrete genius to be able to hide stuff in his music. And I found 2 very interesting examples. The first one is this. You have that bass line of 3 notes going back over and over, and you have 3 days to complete the game, and you go over and over, back and forth through those days. I know it sounds stupid and far-fetched for some reason, but I think it's interesting. I think even if it's not on purpose, it's an interesting coincidence. And at the same time, you have a better thing, which is the Majora's Mask theme, the theme of Majora.
Yeah.
And the bass line to that theme is F, E, C, F, E, something like that. The point is, it's cyclical, and the theme of Majora is 5 notes, those first 5 notes. The first 3 intervals between the top melody and the bass line are 6. I don't know how to say it in plural, I can't pronounce it. So you have 3 6s, followed by 2 augmented fourths, which are which the medieval people call Diabolo in music, the devil in music. The intervals, that theme of 5 notes has a degree of, let's say it, musical sacrilege that is absolutely mind-boggling. I have no idea if he did it on purpose, but if he did, it's very well put. And I play with it along with the opera very many times. So I go, I like digging into that kind of stuff. And at the same time, I like listening to stuff, and I like when melodies are charming by themselves. And Koji Kondo is definitely a melodic genius. The guy has everything he does. I tend to like stuff that is melodically simple. That's why I'm a fan of melodies like Koji Kondo and Grant Kirkhope. I could name some other composers, but I don't remember much as of now. And since I never played Final Fantasy, believe it or not, I'm actually starting to play them now to see what it's all about. I never really got much into Nobuo Uematsu, that's how you pronounce it?
Yes, Nobuo Uematsu.
Yes.
Uematsu.
Yes, Uematsu, exactly. What I mean is, I like some of his tracks, but some of his stuff is too sentimental for me. Although, the guy is also absolutely a genius. My favorite theme was, I heard it once played by the video game pianist. Kids run through the city corner. It's from Final Fantasy something. I have no idea. I haven't played it. So yeah, it's something that's definitely on my list to play. I've started. I've gotten all of them until 1, and from 1 to 9. And I'm gonna play them when I have the time, because as of now, I have no time for anything.
Keeping hard at work with this opera, can't blame you.
Well, right now there's been a huge writing hiatus because of the hardware failure. But I have commissions, I have stuff to do, I have people to meet. Oh wait, I can't start saying this because I'm not yet 100% independent in this sort of stuff. I intend to, but I can't go like, oh, the life of a freelancer is hard. Oh, blah 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 blah. I can't. I can't start bragging. No. I still have a lot of income from family. It helps a lot.
All right. Well, we're almost done here. Just got a couple more questions for you. Do you have any behind-the-scenes tidbits that you would like to share with us? Like, for example, that postman's hat little bit that you shared with me, which blew my mind.
Yeah. No, you'd be amazed. I'm gonna post some pictures. It's sad because I don't have many. We didn't get much of a behind-the-scenes person trying to photograph stuff, and most of the stuff just went away because it was just garbage or paper or something like that. But yes, the postman's hat in demo number 5 is just a normal cap, a normal hat, normal. I don't know how to call them. Those
ball cap.
It's a cap. What?
Is it ball cap?
I think it is. Yes, I think that's what you call them. And it's a ball cap with just a sheet of paper vertically fixed to the front, so it looks taller. And the hair, Anju's hair is not hair. That's a funny one. You won't believe it, but it's actually cardboard mixed with some foam. Because the actual, there is hair in the middle of that. It's a mix. The poor woman, poor Sophia, she was there. She was covered in cardboard to do the mimic. Because we never record the video at the same time as the singing. Singing is recorded first, and then it's played back. So it's very rare when actually one of the singers on the video, one of the person on the video is actually one of the singers. For example, in the demo number 5, none of the people on the video are the singers. You can see that by the credits in the description. Please, people, read the descriptions, because you keep asking me questions that are solved and are answered in the descriptions. And let's see more stuff. Demo number 2, demo number 3. Well, demo number 3, the wheel is not a wheel. It's I have to congratulate the actress for pretending that thing is heavy because she was holding nothing. Just a bit of something covering the view. And what else? I think that's all for now for what you've seen. But yes, we use simple props because we have no resource, we have no means whatsoever. The thing about putting demos behind a sheet started because I just wanted to see, okay, maybe people won't care about it much if they don't have something to look at, because people are very visual today. So I said, okay, maybe the first demo can be through the mayor's back window. So let's make it drapes. I don't care if the sheets are wrinkled, because it's like, it's like curtains. So it's like the inside is lit, the outside is not lit, it's night outside or something, and you're looking inside and you're seeing the argument. That was the context. But then I thought, okay, screw that. We can just show people acting, because YouTubers like to have something to look at. YouTube is YouTube. It's for videos as well, not only for audio. So why not? It's not that hard to do. It's definitely easier than recording and getting all the takes and the singing right. So yeah, let me think of something else. I don't think.
You've made a few cameos in your demos, haven't you?
Yes, I'm the mayor because the singer could not be there. The first demo is actually the first one in which all the singers were supposed to be there, because they were supposed to follow their own voices. It's easier, if you know what you said, you can just mimic around about it. And since I knew the mayor's part by heart, obviously, because I wrote it, the guy who sang the mayor could not be there, so I did it. But the actual two people, the other two people are the actual singers. I also made a cameo in Sakon. I'm the guy who loses the hat at the beginning.
And I'm also that shambling figure in demo number 3.
And I'm gonna make a cameo in Clocktown because we need 4 carpenters. Miguel Jesus, the one of the guys who's in the team is the postman. He's the postman in the 5th. He's not the singer, obviously. And yes, I think for now that's all the cameos there are of mine.
Alright, and so, as you mentioned before, you do have a blog. We're going to put a link to it so that people can go check that out.
Yes, please. And there's an FAQ, there's a search function, there's everything, there's the Q&As are all grouped. So before you ask anything, you could very well go over there and look at it. Not hard. It's majoraopera.wordpress.com. You can actually access everything about the opera from the core site, which is www.mbulto.com/majora.
The links to which are in the description.
Alright, well, thanks for sharing your time with us. Hope you have successful endeavors. And
thank you.
Alright, so that was Miguel Bulteau, everybody. So, until next time, this is Wolfman Mario Fan signing off.